What's up, book besties? Welcome to another episode of She's All Books, where we dive into the raddest reads that will totally blow your mind. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's chat all things books. Because life's too short for boring stories. Ready? Let's get this book party started. Hey, book besties! Welcome to this episode of She's All Books. Here with me today is Ashtyn Kiana. I just want to make sure I get that right.
Yes, you did.
Author of Always Been Yours, and we are going to dive in all things this book. We're talking, there's best friends to strangers to lovers to single dad and workplace romance. I mean, there's so many tropes in this book that readers are going to devour. So I can't wait to dive in and get really deep into it. Before we start, is there anything that you want to share with the audience? Maybe like a brief overview of this book? Anything that you want to just tell them before we do like the big deep dive?
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. I'm so excited to be on the podcast. Yeah, Always Been Yours. You got most of the tropes down for sure. But basically it follows Grady Miller and Genevieve Davies as they reconnect when they are adults. They were really, really good friends when they were younger, and then after just little adolescent tiffs and whatnot, they kind of grew apart and went to different colleges and whatnot. So he's moving back to town with his two daughters, and they are planning a fundraiser for the school they work at.
Yes, it's so fun. Those are just like my favorite standout tropes of it. And also I love the childhood best friends to strangers to lovers. Am I getting that? I feel like I'm missing one. Strangers to lovers.
Nope,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like a little bit of a spin on the friends to lovers or enemies to lovers, which they were not. Awesome. Okay, so I can't wait to dive in. Hey, book besties! Jordan here with a totally rad shopping alert. That's all that. Remember making those perfectly curated mixtapes for your BFFs? Well, I've done the same thing, but with an amazing collection of bookish must-haves in my flagship shop. From aesthetic bookstagram props to cozy self-care essentials, I've personally selected everything your bookish heart desires. It's like having your own personal shopping bestie who just gets you. Ready to treat yourself or find the perfect gift for your fellow romance reader? Head over to flagship.shop/she'sallbooks. Because shopping for bookish goodies should be as fun as a literary sleepover. That's flagship.shop/she'sallbooks, where every purchase supports your girl in this podcast. Later, besties. I'm going to get us going as soon as I locate where I just dropped my paper fortune teller. Oh my gosh, this has never happened to me where it's like completely misplaced. See? This is what I'll be editing out. That is so bizarre. I always keep it right here. This is what happens with kids. Okay, this is weird. Nobody really comes in here except me. I'll cut all of this out. 1 second. It could be that I moved some hidden Christmas gifts in here. I wonder if I knocked it down. This is bizarre.
It's just the time of year when nothing can.
This is crazy. How? I sit in this chair. Oh, here it is, underneath of my book. Oh my gosh. I never thought I'd have to like locate it. It's usually sitting right here all the time. Okay. I am going to cut all of that out. I'll start over again. Okay. So I want to deep dive into Always Been Yours using my favorite prop, my paper fortune teller, to do a deep dive into all things writing process, being an author, this book. Anyways, except so many things we're going to dive into. So I know that you're familiar with the paper fortune teller. For folks who might be watching for the first time, this is just a silly play on the 90s nostalgia vibes where we would make these in elementary school and play with them, or I would, instead of paying attention to what I should have been learning. And we'd ask it questions. So usually there's like the colors on the outside. On the inside, there's 8 numbers, and usually there's like yes, no, maybe under each number, and you'd ask it questions. That was like the fortune part of it. But for purposes of being bookish and wanting to deep dive into Always Been Yours, I have questions that align with each of these numbers. So we're going to go through those questions. Some of them have multiple questions linked to the number because that's what I do. I sneak in as many questions as I can. So let me get us going.
I'm so excited. I haven't played with one of these since I was little, so.
It's very therapeutic for me. It's like nostalgia and makes you like feel like a kid again. It's so fun. But you will get sick of me spelling all of these colors over and over again for you. All right. Orange, pink, purple, or green?
Let's go with orange.
Orange. All right. Range. And I'll read these to you because it's hard to see on the screen. 2, 3, 6, or 7?
6.
6. All right. And in that process of locating my fortune teller, I put my pen down. Sorry. All right. You just said question 6?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like all over the place tonight. You're Ashtyn. Question number 6. For folks who read your books and let them know ahead of time, how many books do you currently have published?
So just the debut at this time.
Okay, so this is your debut. And let them know like what you want them to feel when they read Always Been Yours.
I really hope that you get just like a very kind of like nostalgic vibe. I mean, the characters are 28 and 29, but I feel like because it's like the childhood like best friends to strangers, there's a lot of like making up for lost time. Like there's like them getting to dance at homecoming and just like little things like that. So I hope it's just kind of nostalgic and honestly a little angsty.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the inks. And it's open door. So a lot of times when authors come on, the readers will ask, like, is it closed door or open door? And this is open
Yes.
door. So I just like to always share that. A lot of people want it to be open door. So there you go.
Yeah. And I did actually, Meg Jones is the one who created, I believe, but it does have the dictionary inside. So if you are looking to avoid that, that makes it really easy. It tells you the chapters.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know when to skip and you're not like gonna miss out on all the plot and everything and you're able to just like get
Yeah.
those scenes. Yeah. Which is so nice because then that way you can target both readers, readers who prefer it, readers who don't prefer that.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, pink, purple, orange, or green.
We'll go with green.
All right. I need like a tray right here to hold all my Green. 1, 4, 5, or 8.
Let's go with 1.
1. All right. Question number 1 is tell us about your main characters. So we want to hear all about the female main character and the male character. We have Genevieve, right? And
Yeah.
was it Grady?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you tell us all about these two characters?
Yeah, so Genevieve, she goes by Vivi. She is a second grade teacher at a public charter school in a little fictional town in San Diego. She is just honestly like sunshine in a person. She's a very type A person as well. Her and her planner are best friends. But going into the story, she is kind of still recovering from her ex relationship. She was engaged to her high school sweetheart, and you learn about how that happened. So she's kind of getting to a place where she's like learning to like trust people and like bring people in her life again. And Grady is he's an 11th grade history teacher at the same public charter school. He also is the baseball coach there. And he went to college on a baseball scholarship as the catcher until he tore his ACL. And then that was around the same time he found out that his like on again, off again girlfriend was pregnant with their first daughter. So when we meet him, he is divorced and moving back to his hometown with his 2 girls. And it's just kind of him like really reconnecting with his family. He's very much the type of person that doesn't like to put his problems on other people, and so that's really created like a little bit of distance that he's trying to just kind of like make up for. So yeah, it's a lot of character growth on Grady's part for sure.
So you get to really see him like evolve and develop as a character, which is always fun as a reader to like get to really like feel like you experience that. And this is, I don't know if I mentioned, dual point of view, which a lot of people also love that because you get to really like get in their minds as you're reading it, which is so fun. Awesome. All right. Purple, orange, pink, or green? All right. PINK. And 4, 5, or 8, because you already answered question 1.
Let's do 8.
All right, question 8. All right, so I know that the setting, as you've mentioned already, well, the workplace is a charter school. What inspired you to have the workplace be an education setting and to have them both be educators?
Yeah, so originally when I did get the idea for the book, it was just kind of like a very random chapter that inspired all of this. But I knew that I wanted like the childhood best friends to strangers story, because I really wanted to write a book about a single parent. I was just kind of trying to think of like things that would like organically like bring two people together. I was also thinking back to a lot of like the athletes and stuff that I knew when I was in college, and I feel like business communications and education were like kind of three of the big
Yes.
majors they would go for. So it felt very on brand. And I think that's just kind of where it came from. But then my dad has always been a social worker at public charter schools primarily. So I just kind of knew there was a little bit more flexibility in what I could do with that versus a public school. So that's like ultimately how that formed.
Very nice. That's awesome. So some personal like things tied into that decision.
Yeah.
All right. And I've always been in education, so I love reading about like educators.
Awesome.
Yeah. Purple, pink, green, or orange?
Purple. I think I
Purple.
answered
All
that one.
right. PURPLE. And we have 4 or 5 left in this cluster.
Let's go with 4.
4. All right. Okay. Question number 4. What was one of the most challenging parts of this book to write? Or if you didn't have like a challenging part in the book, like what was the most challenging part of writing a book?
Yeah, for this book, I think it was creating Grady's ex-wife, honestly. Part of why I decided to do a single parent romance is because I feel like oftentimes what we see is that either the parent has passed away or they're like not in the kid's life or just not a very good parent. But my parents are separated. I have a lot of friends whose parents are separated. And I just think as well, like co parenting is a much bigger conversation in today. So I wanted to highlight something like that. And so his ex wife, Ariel, she plays like the antagonist, but she's not a villain. And so creating this woman that people would empathize with at the end of the book was a little bit challenging, but I really appreciate her character.
That is awesome. And when you say like writing somebody like to empathize with her, like can you expand on that anymore or no?
Yeah. So her and Grady, it very much is, her name is Ariel. It just kind of was like they dated in college. They kind of knew that like he was planning on like going into the major leagues. She went to school for theater and like writing. So they just like knew they were going to live very different lives until they did find out that she was pregnant and they decided that they wanted to keep the baby. And so when they divorce, it's not really like because of any big thing. It's just that they decided that they're like not happy together anymore. And throughout the book, you kind of see Ariel struggle with that decision. I mean, she not only lost her husband, but she is going on tour to, pursue her theater career. So it just made more sense for the girls to go with Grady. So now that's like also out of her life. And you just see her struggle with it a lot. And I think, and it was very purposeful, but it is portrayed in a way throughout the book that you're getting Grady's point of view, and he's a little annoyed, he's a little frustrated, and then they have a conversation toward the end, and I think that's really the moment where people kind of see her side, and it really just like puts her in like this imperfect human light. And I've actually had quite a few people who have read the book reach out and say that like they really appreciated like her character, and just yeah, like just trying to show like co-parenting, and that like often it is both parents involved with step parents. And yeah.
That is awesome. And I love that representation in the book because I think, like you said, like like more and more often we're seeing like a lot of co-parenting discussions, and like I mean myself, like I'm living that too. So being able to like see that represented in a book is just so exciting to like be able to like relate to something like that. So I love that you included that, and it's
Well,
something
that
that's personal to you.
that makes me really glad to hear.
Absolutely. Okay, pink, green, orange, or purple. All right. Pink, 2, 3, or 7, because you already did 6.
Let's go with 3.
3. And I dropped my paper fortune teller. Question number 3. And you might have just answered this one, but maybe not. Who was one of your favorite side characters in this book?
My favorite side character in this book is Lexi, that is Vivi's best friend. She is inspired by 3 of my very close friends who just are so authentically themselves and very unfiltered and say the most out of pocket things ever. And so she was really fun. She's kind of that character that, like, if I think it, she can say it. There's no limits.
Absolutely. I love that. No filter. It's all fair game.
Exactly.
All right. Green, orange, pink, or purple?
Green.
Green. All right. Green. And we're getting lucky. 7 or 2. I have to always check with my numbers I have written down.
Let's do 7.
7. All right. Lucky number 7. All right. Tell us about yourself as a writer. What is your writing style? Like, are you a planner? Do you just like wing it and listen to the characters? Like, how did you plan Always Been Yours?
So with the first book, it was very planned out. But I also kind of say it was like a fever dream. Like when I got the initial idea of them, it just expanded so quickly. But I did have pretty much like not so much chapters, but I have to kind of go by days and give myself like an actual timeline because I need like a visual representation of how the story is moving. So I basically went and wrote like on this day they go and do this and this. But in the second book that I'm working on now, it's been the complete opposite. I feel like the more that I try to plan, the more I struggle with writing, and I really just kind of have to like I know where the story's ending, and pretty much I just have to let them get there. So it's been like a 3 or a 180 from both books.
I bet. Yeah, I don't know. I'm such a visual reader. Are you a visual, like when you're writing, are you envisioning it? Are you looking at Pinterest boards? Like, what is that like for you when you're in the writing process?
Yeah, I have so many Pinterest boards, and they're all sectioned by like character inspo and then aesthetic. They have like outfit inspo, home inspo. Like I need those things to go back to for sure. But I also really use Notion, which has been really great because it just keeps everything so organized for me. It's kind of like I explain it like it's kind of like a Google Docs, like Wikipedia page where like it's just you can create different pages. So like every character has a page now that like
Yeah,
I can just go back to if I'm like, oh, like when is their birthday again? Or like what, like if I like how would they react to this? What are they doing or anything like that?
great.
But yeah, I have so many things like that just keeps things like very, very organized that I always can use as resources.
Because there's a lot of like details to keep track of. Like, what color was that person's eyes? I forgot. Did I describe their hair? Like, there's so many
Yeah.
things. I mean, I don't write. Like, when you're writing, I imagine it's like to keep track of it all. Like, I would need one of those crime scene walls that has like the string like attaching to different things that I could keep it all straight.
Yeah, I've been honestly thinking about just like getting note cards and like starting to tape them like to my
Yeah,
wall. So I'm like, okay, and then I could just move them in order.
I love that. I love it. All right. Pink, purple, green, or orange?
Let's go with orange.
Orange. All right. Oops, gotta do it. Orange. And I think all that's left in this cluster is question number 5. Nope. Yep. And this one it's 5. Who gets to answer question 5?
Let's do that.
All right. Question number 5. Do you have a favorite like snack or beverage or playlist or anything that you like to enjoy while you're writing?
When I was writing Always Been Yours, I listened to the Midnights album by Taylor Swift so much. That was definitely the background of most of that book. And then for snacks, I think at that time I was eating a lot of flaming hot Fritos, honestly. That was my
Okay.
go-to.
Flaming
Yeah.
hot Fritos.
Yeah.
I've not tried those. I will have to try them. Awesome. Okay. Pink, green, orange, or purple?
Purple.
Purple. Let's see if we land. We are looking for question number 2. Let's see if we can get Purple. And you did. You're really good.
Awesome.
Would you like to answer question number 2?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay. What can readers expect from you coming down the pipeline? If anything that you're able to share, maybe you can't share anything. It could be about works in progress, meet and greets, signings, anything.
Yeah. So I do have two signings that I have like done everything, filled out all the forms and stuff, been accepted into. One of them I haven't been announced in yet, so I can't say. But the other one is Books, Gowns, and Crowns at the end of September. It's in Washington, D.C. this year. I'm really excited for that. And then right now, the only thing I'm really working on is the rest of the Amada Beach series, which will be 6 books. And the second book is going to come out in spring of 2025. And it's a little different. It's definitely not who I think people expected the second book to be about. But it actually it takes our timeline back a few years and focuses on a couple that they're married in today's timeline. So I kind of wanted to go back and kind of just build their characters a little bit more and also show like why they are going to be so important to the series going
Yeah.
forward. So it's going to be really fun. You'll get to see Grady as a young dad in those books because of the timeline. I'm
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to collaborate with Afternoon Delight. They are a coffee roast company that has coffee flavors that you can choose from that correspond with romance tropes. I chose the Forced Proximity blend. I'm just so excited to share this with you. They've given me and my followers a 10% discount. All you have to do is enter She's All Books at the checkout and you'll get 10% off your order. And you have so many flavors to choose from because what romance lover doesn't want romance blended coffee? But I'm so excited. I'm gonna make a cup now. Oh my god, it smells so good. Oh my god, this is so good. It tastes like the perfect balance of like flavor and coffee, so it's not like overpowering with the caramel and coffee, the chocolate and caramel notes, but it's there and it's exactly what I needed this morning. Okay, besties, let me know which of these tropes you would choose from Afternoon Delight in the comments.
really excited.
That is awesome. Very exciting. And then as far as like the meet and greets and signings and things, do you have a website that shares those dates or should they watch your Instagram? Like where should readers like look to know those things?
Yeah, my Instagram is definitely the best right now. I'm really excited to be working with someone for branding at the start of the new year. So once I get that going, I will have a Canvas site until I can get a full website going, just, kind of to hold over in the meantime.
Yeah.
But all of that will be accessible through my Instagram.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
So follow on Instagram and make sure that you tune in there to find out things.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so now we're at the part of the podcast episode where you get to pick a nostalgic game with a bookish twist for us to play together. And your options are Truth or Dare, Never Have I Ever, Two Truths and a Lie, or MASH.
Ooh, I think MASH.
MASH is my favorite. So I do MASH to give it a bookish twist, as we're going to be predicting your next bestseller totally as a joke.
Okay.
So, 1 second, let me write that out. For folks who did not play MASH growing up, that means you were probably focusing more in school than I was, and it stands for Mansion, Apartment, Shack, or House. And we would just do this with like our friends, and we put down like our crushes and jobs that we thought that they would have, and all sorts of silly things to predict our future. It's very scientific. And so we're going to do this with a bookish twist. So you get to pick. The categories are going to be the main character, so male main character, female main character, their careers, if there's any like number of kids, and then tropes. So that's going to be like our plot, or how we're going to plot your next book. So we're going to do, I know it changes and everyone does it differently or played it differently, but you'll pick 2 for each category and I'll pick the third. And so like, why is that happening? Like when you're growing up, your friend would probably pick something crazy, like you're going to have 25 kids, like just to throw off your like perfect dream future. So for male main character, just give me 2 names.
Liam and Nash.
I will say Joe, right? Female main character name.
Bria and Lila.
Bria and Lila, and I will say, not to rhyme, but Isla. That's right. Okay. Male main character's job.
Lawyer or nurse.
Nurse.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll pick politician. Female main character's career.
Let's do a singer.
Okay.
Or, oh my gosh, everything just left my brain. Bartender.
We'll say scientist. Okay. And then number of kids.
Let's say 1 or 4.
Okay. And I'm going to put 0. And then tropes. You get to pick 2 tropes. I'll pick the third trope.
Okay, let's do marriage in crisis, or let's do fake dating.
Okay. You know, I don't think I've ever read a marriage in crisis book.
Really?
I've read like almost every trope. I don't think I've read that.
I haven't read too many, but the few that I have, it's if you want a good cry and a laugh, that's where you go.
Okay, good to know. All right, for the third one, I will pick surprise pregnancy, which you either love or hate. I always love.
I'm a fan.
Yes. So we have our MASH board all filled out, and so we're going to do the really super scientific part, and I'm going to start drawing the swirl, and you'll tell me when to stop. I'll count. That will tell me how many to slash and dash, so we're left with 1 in each column, which is the plot to your next bestseller. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. It's so hard to do this on here. Ready?
I was just thinking.
Go. I've never really actually tried to do it on the screen before, but I feel like people think I'm cheating. Oh gosh, it's going all over the place.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so we have
pretty good.
6, and I'm going to start doing my magic. While I do this, if there's anything you want to share, feel free. If not, I can do the little fast forward squiggly thing. I just can't talk and count. I'm not that talented. Do you have any friends that you've met who are authors, like on Bookstagram or anything?
Yeah, I've started to get connected with more people. My first author friend, her name is Lyra Asher. I used to be on like the book reviewer side of things. So I was one of her ARC readers and we became really, really good friends. But since then, I have connected with Penelope Coggins and I have become very close. But Sam Wilde, A.K. Morgan, Brady Charles, they all are super great, and yeah, we've gotten to know each other.
I love that. I love how like the community like always supports each other.
Right.
All right, well, we have your next bestseller, right?
All right.
when you're done writing your series, of course. Okay, so main male character's name is Joe. Female
Okay.
main character is Bria. Joe is a lawyer. Bria is a bartender. There's one kid involved. I don't know if the kid is, I don't know, because the trope is marriage in crisis. So maybe they're married, or maybe one of them has a marriage in crisis. Like, I'm not sure. But somebody lives in an apartment. And that is, I'd read it. It sounds amazing. Your next bestseller right here.
All right. Well,
Challenge, and you are up for it because you could totally knock it out of the park. Thank you for entertaining me with that goofy, nostalgic game with a bookish twist.
oh my gosh, I love it.
Appreciate it. That was fun, and I will try to remember to take a picture of it and post it on my Instagram. I always forget, but thank you again for doing that. Is there
Yeah.
anything that today, like, this was so fun? It went by so fast. I can't believe it. Was there anything that you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up this episode?
Oh, I guess the only thing, I'm not sure when this will air, but Always Been Yours is getting a new cover in the new year. I just kind of, as I was going into the next book, I just kind of realized that I had a different vision for them.
Right.
So I'm really excited. This is definitely, I think it fits the series better, and I think it just also fits like me as an author better. So I'm really excited. The new cover is going to be released on January 22nd. And then pretty much after that, we will be moving into the next era of books, and I will be talking about who the next couple is. There will be the title reveal, blurb, all of that. So there's going to be so much in the new year.
Very exciting. Okay, well, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, everyone, make sure you are following along. This is going to air mid-January, so just in a
Okay,
couple,
perfect.
not too long from now. But make sure you're following Ashtyn on Instagram. I'm going to include all the links in the captions so that you can just click and find Ashtyn and her link tree. I'm thinking you might have a link
Yep.
tree. Yes.
Yep.
And so I'll put that in the captions so that it's quick and easy to get to her, connect with her, get your hands on a copy of Always Been Yours. You're not going to want to miss this, and especially the new cover coming soon, which I love this cover, by the way. Like, I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, but I also love seeing like how people like reimagine the covers and everything. It's fun.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yes. So make sure you follow Ashtyn over there. If you have any questions for Ashtyn, please feel free to leave them in the comments. One of us will see them, probably me, when I get notified, and I will make sure I direct the question to Ashtyn to answer. But thank you for tuning into this episode of She's All Books. And thank you for joining me, Ashtyn. I appreciate you joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Listen, and you have to come back when your next book comes out. That is the rule.
Please.
It's a new
Please.
magic rule. I can't do it, but I hope you come back.
I'll bug you to have me back. So.
Perfect. There we go. It'll be mutual. All right. Well, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching this episode of She's All Books. Until next time. Bye. All right, book besties. That's a wrap on this totally rad episode of She's All Books. If you're digging this vibe, don't be a square. Smash that subscribe button faster than you can say as if. Want to keep the convo going? Hit me up on social media at She's All Books. Drop a comment, share your fave book, or tell me what you want to hear next. I'm all ears. And hey, if you thought this episode was all that, spread the word. Tell your besties, your mom, even that cute barista at the local coffee shop. The more, the merrier. Stay tuned for the next episode, dropping Mondays at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a blast. Until then, keep it real and keep on reading. See ya.